Okay, so neither you or I are ever going to write a novel on our iPhones, tapping away on the glass. But equally, neither of us are ever going to stop needing to write some things on that phone. I mean, ideas, notes, messages to people, emails, and yeah, all right, actually, why not? A chapter or two. Also, yeah. Fortunately, there just happened to be, is it 1, 2, 5? We call it 5.5 different ways to make the act of typing and writing on an iPhone much faster. And actually, that's 5.5 ways right now. So I think right now it's at least likely that one of them will be new to you, if not all of them, and I am certain that it will help. But also, we are soon going to be getting iOS 17, which is going to add a 6.5 way of typing faster on iPhone. Oh, you'll definitely like that one, definitely. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me who use and who write on Macs and iPhones and iPads, particularly today, iPhones. Do subscribe or support 58 Keys on Patreon, because there's always so much to type about, isn't there? And you know how it is. Something is on your mind, right? You're working away, you think of an idea, you need to make a note or you're going to lose this thing, but you're away from your desk. We do that sometimes, yeah. So out comes your iPhone, because your iPhone is always with you. On go your fingers to the glass, and however fast you've become, you do wish it was a bit faster. So instead of tap, 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 then if you haven't already, then try this. Press down on the first letter you want to type and don't take your finger off the glass again. Leave it there on the first and swipe or slide over to the next letter you want, and then the next letter, and then the next. It's a feature called Slide to Type. And your iPhone, in the background, is working really hard and really cleverly actually to figure out what in the hell you really meant from us. What are you most likely to be trying to say? It's remarkably accurate, all of this too. Important, when you finish a word, you need to give just the slightest hesitation, just a slight beat before you go on to the next, but a fractional beat. But even then, you keep your finger on the glass. You don't lift it off and start again. You can tap the space bar and go to the next word, but you can just swipe around and wait. There are going to be mistakes, but actually that's where the second tip for typing faster comes in. If a word is wrong, you see it's gone wrong, then press 3 fingers on the screen and then swipe to the left. Well, the way you're looking at that, yeah. Swiping to the left, it undoes the last thing, and then 3 fingers swipes to the right, redoes whatever it was if you change your mind. That's 3 fingers. There's also this, I can't find a great use for this, but you might. Tap 3 fingers together on the screen and you get this bar. Well, that's obviously undo to the left, and once you've undone something, well, then there'll be a redo to the right. And actually, no, okay, that is useful in some apps that already use 3 finger swipes to mean something else, such as Drafts 5, for example, in the iPhone. 3 fingers, it brings up a menu from the side. Very useful in Drafts, just different. It's the other options in this iOS thing that don't do it for me. That last one there, it's kind of copy and paste together. So if you get that, and if you want to write the same thing out multiple times, then tapping that does it. But to me, it looks like undo and redo are the only definitely useful things. And also, they're kind of definitely useful once you can train yourself to remember the 3 finger swipe. So I don't know why you'd do that one. I'll tell you now, I can't seem to stop myself typing by tapping. But all this swiping and sliding, it is definitely faster by a long way, until you want to type something that isn't there on the main keyboard that you can't slide or swipe to. Something like, a number for a start, or punctuation. If slide to type then is the first way to type faster, and okay, that 3 finger, and to call it a second way-ish, work with me on this. Well, this is the third way. Normally, you know this, to get a number, a digit on your iPhone, well, you tap that 1, 2, 3 button, and then the digit or the digits that you want, and then you tap the ABC button to go back to the main keyboard. So that's 1 tap, button, number, tap, yeah. Instead of that, you can do this. Press down and hold on the 1, 2, 3 button, slide over to the digit you want, and then let go. Wallop. The number is entered, but you are back at the main keyboard without having to go back to tap that 1, 2, 3 ABC button. Similarly, or identically, tap and hold on that 1, 2, 3 button, and now you can slide your finger over to punctuation. Same thing. done. It sounds, I think, like it can't possibly save you more than a picosecond or something, and yeah, it can't. But it feels as if it does. It feels so much faster, and you keep thinking of what you're writing rather than waiting to press buttons. Also, actually, that's all true, isn't it? Except suddenly it occurs to me, what if you want to type more than one digit? Yeah. But it's still quick enough, the press Sligo, that you do it without thinking, and it seems to me that it's still faster to do that than tap the button, tap. But okay, I tell you what, you want fast? You've come to the right place for fast with number 4. A fourth way to type fast on the iPhone. I think you know this one. I know for certain that you know it. I know you've seen it. No question you've seen it. But you might not use it. And just for completeness, it can be very important. Predictive text. Even old, ordinary phones have that. On an iPhone, when you are typing something, well, there's that row, isn't there, just above the keyboard that always shows you 3 suggestions. One of them isn't really a suggestion. It's just what exactly you've typed so far, in case that's the complete word. One in the middle, that's the iPhone's best guess at what you actually want to type. And then there's a third that's like, yeah, all right, maybe it's this, like an also ran, a possible second bet, a runner-up choice. If you can get used to glancing down at those suggestions, well, then you can type faster, because with a single tap, you get the whole word even, and the space after it. But if you don't want the space, if this is like the end of the sentence, we'll do it anyway. Pick that word, let the iPhone put the word in and the space, and then you tap the full stop or the period. Your iPhone's iOS knows to delete that space and put the full stop or the period at the end of the last word where it belongs. So, slide to type was 1, slide to numbers and punctuation was 2, 3 finger thingies were probably 3. Predictive text, that was 4, 5th. Built-in text replacement. Now, actually, there is a whole 58 keys about this and actually what kind of trickery you can do with it. Link in the description below, of course. But in brief, on your iPhone, go to Settings, General, Keyboard, and then tap Text Replacement. Again, I know this for certain. I know that you have something in this setup area, even if you've never been there before, because we all do. Apple has started us off with this. Even if you have nothing else, you have the letters OMW listed in there. And what that screen is telling you is that if you, at any point, type OMW and then tap the spacebar, your iPhone will immediately replace those letters with the words "on my way" and an exclamation mark. Nobody's perfect. Okay. In this text replacement section of settings on your iPhone, on iOS, you can make up anything. You can make up any combination of letters that you will remember mean something else, that aren't going to be something using a proper word, and that are a trigger to make it expand out into this bigger snap. So if there are phrases or email addresses or hard to spell words, you can have your iPhone just tap them out for you instantly. It's something I just utterly adore about this. This is so Apple. The second you've set this up on your iPhone, exactly the same letters do exactly the same thing on your iPad or on your Mac without you doing anything. It just works together. That was 5, but I did say there were 5.5 ways to type faster on your iPhone. The half way, I mean, it's fair, but the thing is, it's another type of text replacement. It's just, it isn't built in to your phone. It works the same way, but it's different. I use the text expander service on my Mac, so I have it on my iPhone where I don't use it, but I could, and it might work for you. The problem with built-in text replacement, the reason you could do with alternatives like Text Expander, is that Apple's one can't do multiple paragraphs, and it can't stop to ask you questions along the way, whereas Text Expander can. It can do this type of thing. Press and hold. To get the Text Expander thing, press and hold on the globe icon, and if you have Text Expander app installed on your iPhone, then you can just select it from that pop-up list there. I don't know why I've got French in there too. What this does, choosing it this way, it changes the whole keyboard so that you can just type on it as normal, but also trigger any Text Expander snippets, as they're called, that you have set up or that the Text Expander company have set up. It is great being able to type, for example, D-date to get today's date. I use that a lot in file names, in documents, all things. But there are problems. This text expander keyboard, this total replacement for the iPhone keyboard, is not as good as Apple's own. It lets you do this thing with the snippets, but it doesn't feel as good, and you can't do the sliding and the swiping. But text expander costs from $3.33 per month, and it is so worth it on the Mac, so worth it there. And getting it on the Mac means you also get it on the iPhone, so on the iPad as well. So yeah, why not? One last extra, actually. Is this the sixth? This one is, let's go back to things built into your phone. One thumb typing. Go back to that same globe icon, please. Press and hold. Then choose one of those three, not one of the three. There are three icons. The one in the middle. If you choose the one in the middle, nothing changes. But choose the left or the right one, and this happens. Say we've chosen the one on the left. There you go. The entire keyboard is squeezed up into the left-hand side of your screen. It's not squeezed by much, but it's enough that you can more readily type using just your thumb as you're holding the phone on that side, for instance. And same obviously with the right hand icon. And then whichever one you've picked to go back to normal, well, you can tap on that center icon again, the globe and center icon, or just tap on that big arrow to the right or left. And yes, by the way, you can slide to type even when it's like this wedged up together thing. Yeah, I actually lost track there about how many tips there are for typing faster on an iPhone. But notice what just happened there. In the script, I typed the words "I lost track," and then my iPhone offered the words "of time." It's not what I needed, but it could have been. That is the new thing coming in iOS 17. In any app on your iPhone, iOS 17 will try not just to autocomplete a word, but maybe a whole phrase. At first, actually, based on just my testing of the beta for a few weeks, you're not going to notice much difference, but it's like it learns and it gets better as it goes. So I am now routinely seeing a couple of words being suggested for me. When it suggests a word or two like that, and you want its suggestion, well, then you just tap the space bar, and now those suggestions are typed into your email, your novel, whatever it is, and you are on to the next word. I actually thought, I was sure of this, I thought that I would find that really distracting. I mean, I get that if you don't want the suggestion, you just keep typing and it goes away. You carry on typing, it's what you're typing. But when I do want the suggestion, the idea of stopping to read what it's saying, then electing to tap the spacebar to accept the suggestion, and then carrying on with the next words that I want to type, it felt like it would kind of break your concentration. I felt like it would actually slow me down, but in practice, no. It's like you barely notice that it's your iPhone typing this stuff rather than you, and that certainly doesn't sound all that great. Well, anyway, Apple will almost certainly release iOS 17 in September. It might slip into October. It'll be at the same time that it brings out the next iPhones, the iPhone 15 range. And actually, there's a huge amount for us as writers in iOS 17 for the iPhone and iPadOS 17 for the iPad, and possibly especially macOS Sonoma for the Mac. But let's you and I talk about that when it's all out officially, and we can both have a proper play with it. And in the meantime, that's it for this edition of 58 Keys. Thank you very much for watching. Now, take care of yourself. Write more on any device, swiping or whatever you need, and I'll see you soon.